Malus Groggs a happy retirement. And we have joining us now in the KUAM News Zoom room, Jerome Garcia, who's the acting environmental public health officer supervisor, and also Leilani Navarro, food safety manager. Good morning.
Hi,
Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Right on, Jerome. How's it, bro? You're the big man now, or what?
Oh, just acting for now. Everyone's all hands on deck for the local dengue case we have. But yep, I'm the go-to guy for now.
Right, and you guys can talk a little bit about dengue, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
We won't give, of course, confidential information,
Of course.
privacy information, but we can talk about the local dengue case that's been occurring the past week.
So let's start there. There was a local dengue case, and it was determined that it was local, meaning they caught it here. It wasn't imported or anything. And I'm assuming you guys are probably doing like a lot of outreach because of that, right?
That is correct. So our operations, when we do receive a local confirmed case of dengue, our team, all hands on deck again, we would conduct surveillance and control around the target area. We would conduct a 200 meter radius spread and canvass all the surrounding homes and buildings and residences in that area, provide them education. So we do give out pamphlets on how to protect yourself from mosquito bites, information about dengue fever, as well as collect samples for identification and rearing. So that would include using our aspirators to catch adult mosquitoes, whether it's manually or through our battery-powered aspirators. So they're essentially, vacuums that you would suck up adult mosquitoes, or also through collecting larva samples. So we would get these, big turkey basters and check for sources of breeding, and that's usually in a lot of containers that hold water. So we've caught a couple, we found a couple. They're in our lab being raised right now for identification. So that's as far as the surveillance and outreach goes. And at the same time, of course, we asked permission if we could set our mosquito traps, and that way we can, see just how widespread or how far these mosquitoes are able to go.
So it's a good time to invest in mosquito coil and off stock, right?
Oh, definitely. The best way to prevent yourself from getting dengue or from getting bit is to use preventative measures such as using the mosquito repellent. As long as they have the appropriate active ingredients, then they should be sufficient enough to protect yourself from getting bit. Yeah.
Do you guys have any tips? Like, what is that one they say? Oh, wear this type of color clothing.
Yeah, so as far as clothing, if you spend a lot of time outdoors, of course you want to cover up. So long, loose-fitting clothing is fine. But mosquitoes are more attracted to a dark-colored material. So if you're wearing black or brown, they're more attracted to those colors. They're more attracted to the CO2 emissions. So if you give off a lot of CO2, you'll tend to notice you get bit more. So those two factors, along with heat, would make you a prime candidate to be bit by mosquitoes. So if you're outdoors, you can wear long sleeve clothing, apply mosquito repellent, make sure it's light colored, that helps your chances from getting bit. But again, the best thing to do is, to take preventative measures. So not only using mosquito repellent or wearing long, loose fitting clothing, dumping out mosquito sources of breeding. So any water containers, plants that hold water, you can flush them out. Any, pet dishes or toys. All those are prime places for mosquitoes to breed, especially the type that may potentially, be the vector for transmitting dengue.
Right. So when we hear that this is a local case from a local mosquito who transmitted dengue, how does that even happen? I mean, scientifically, right? So just like pop out of nowhere, or where'd it come from?
Yeah. So I'm not too sure of the origin. It may be here. People may be symptomatic, so they don't show. But essentially, the way mosquito transmission works for mosquito-borne disease to go from person to person is that the person would already have to have the virus in their blood. The mosquito would then feed on that person. The mosquito would then get the bacteria or the virus into their system. It would take a couple of days for that to go from their proboscis to their gut. And then finally, that mosquito would bite other people, therefore transferring the virus or bacteria from from them to other people. So that's pretty much the route of mosquito transmission for mosquito-borne diseases. As far as its origin, I don't know. It could be here, but that's essentially how mosquito transmission for diseases works.
Right. So you guys are I mean, is there a lot of resources being devoted to this? Something you're keeping an eye on?
Yeah, so fortunately, we're lucky that it's still one case. It's not declared an outbreak yet, but we are treating it as such. So, we are utilizing all our manpower to ensure that the spread of, dengue is not going to happen. So all our staff is going out there to do education, to do outreach. We're calling people to, let them know that we are spraying. So we are applying insecticide, adulticide for adult mosquitoes and larvicide for those still in their larval and pupal form to sort of like nip it in the bud, just to knock them down right at the start so it doesn't get any worse.
Right on. What's the condition of the dengue patient?
I'm not too sure on that. I can't answer to that, but hoping they're fine. But I'm not too sure on those.
I mean, were they like hospitalized or?
That one, I'm not too sure. We just received a report that there was a local confirmed case of dengue at this particular area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. Let's get into the sanitation inspections. Leilani, I'm looking at the report for sanitation inspection results ending June 20th. So I guess if you want to just kind of recap some of the inspection results here. There's a big one. I think we reported on this, the Green Supermarket in Harmon. You want to start there?
Yes, that's correct. So this inspection was a regular inspection. So our inspectors went out on June 15 to conduct inspection. The Green Supermarket has actually 3 sanitary permits. So we did 3 inspections for the retail portion, the manufacturing portion, as well as the vending machine. So all 3 permits were suspended because of an assessment that was identified there was pest, actually rodent and roach infestation in the facility.
I'd just like to let that marinate for a second. And this is Green Supermarket in Harmon. They also do a water, they've got like a little water dispenser thing there.
It's actually under a different operator. It's a Rainmaker, but it is being operated out of Green Supermarket. And so the inspectors found some evidence of pest infestation around the vending machine. So that was part of the closure.
Yeah, and so I'm just going to go ahead and read some of the items on your report here. Item violation observations. Person in charge did not demonstrate knowledge and perform duties. Hand washing facilities not adequately supplied and accessible. Presence of insects, rodents, and or animals observed. Toilet facilities not properly constructed, supplied, and or cleaned. Physical facilities not properly installed, maintained, and or kept clean. Adequate ventilation and or lighting not provided. And there was also similar findings for the Green Supermarket Harmon. They do a food thing here. So some of the are they making food, Leilani, for purchase, like packaged food items?
So when because of the manufacturing permit,
Okay.
they actually make different types of potentially hazardous food. So this would be the I'm not very sure what the products are, but usually these are the pickled items that they make, and it may be some sandwiches, but it was not.
Tuna sandwich or what?
I'm sorry?
Tuna sandwich, because I was craving a tuna sandwich today, but I don't know if it's tuna. Count me
I'm
out.
not sure what the exact products are, but usually this mom and pop stores that have a manufacturing facility inside, they would make pickled daigo or pickled mangoes, sandwiches. what have you.
Yeah, so for the food manufacturing, they found food not meeting temperature requirements for hot and cold holding, thermometer not provided and or accurate. Again, the presence of the insects, rodents, and or animals. Food and non-food contact surfaces not smooth and easily cleanable. Washing facilities not installed. You know, that's something I'm seeing in these reports is there's a lot of places that don't have adequately maintained hand washing facilities.
Yes, and that's actually, a critical violation because through studies, it's been found that the major foodborne illness risk factor is when employees are not washing their hands properly.
Right.
So that may lead to increased risk for foodborne illness. So it's actually a six item demerit.
I'm looking at this Fleet Services Dormitory 293B Dedido. Previous inspection report not posted. Facility not properly maintained. Adequate supply of hot and cold running water not provided. Adequate lighting not provided. No adequate vector control in place. What is this facility? Fleet Services Dormitory.
So that's barracks. It's a temporary workforce housing for the H2 workers.
Is it a company? Is the company called Fleet Services?
That's what the company's called. Fleet Services Dormitory. I'm not sure. I would have to check on that.
Is that something you guys routinely do? Is inspect H2 worker barracks?
Yes, it's part of our mandate. So we conduct inspections of usually construction companies that bring in H2 workers, and they house them in this dormitory type facilities. And of course, we want to make sure that the houses that are being provided are adequate to ensure the safety and, of course, the health and safety of the workers.
So what are hand washing, that's pretty basic, but what are some of the other violations that people may find surprising that you guys discover?
Surprising, it's not, when as we've been doing inspections for how many years we have, if you're normal, people will be surprised what you'll see in a regulated facility, right? But for us, it's a usual occurrence would be there's evidence of pest infestation, and there's usually outer openings that may attract the pests to come inside the facility. Also, some of these facilities wouldn't have the hot running water to ensure proper hand washing. So,
wow. And then maybe if you want to just connect the dots for us, pest infestation. I hear people, we see it in the comments where if a restaurant or a business has cockroaches, people put like, oh, come on, you have cockroaches at your house. But what is the risk associated with pest infestation, especially relative to food establishments?
So these pests actually, when they can cross-contaminate food contact surfaces such as cutting boards or plates or cooking utensils. And they can actually, if the food is exposed to pests, the pests can carry pathogens such as bacteria and possibly viruses that can go into the food, and when the person ingests it, and they can develop foodborne illness symptoms such as vomiting, diarrhea, and nausea.
I don't know if this is a science question, but I think I saw something in one of the stories about one of the inspections you guys had where a customer had remarked that something in the restaurant smelled like cockroaches.
I think that was one of the complaints that resulted in the inspection of Spring Kitchen. Yes, so some people, there's actually a definite, distinctive smell of roaches. and some even rodent urine you could smell when you enter a facility. So part of our training as inspectors is we undergo a, a pest control training, which is the core, and Cat 7 certification, which is being offered by Guam EPA. So every few years, we undergo the training just to freshen up our knowledge on how to detect pests in an establishment and how to control them. So we undergo this training, pass the exam, and receive the certification every few years. So we're aware what items to look for using our sense of course, sight, smell, and just looking at possible signs that may point us to an infestation determination.
Wow, so do they actually make you like get down and smell stuff that had cockroaches on it and rodent pee, or how does it work? And could you describe the smell?
Yeah, that's what we usually do. We have to go through, sometimes this actually, especially cockroaches, they like to hide in dark places. So we have to go under tables or refrigerators, even open cabinets. And so most of the time you'd find the roaches there hiding.
What do you find mostly though, the big ones or the little ones?
It depends. Mostly if it's it really varies. Some because Guam has different types of roaches. We have the German roach, the Oriental roach, so the American roach. So we find all of these in the establishments. The big ones, the small ones, the eggs, and parts of the bodies. When the roaches mold and change their casing.
Right.
So we find all those.
They turn into a roach butterfly, right? Jerome, how would you describe the smell of cockroaches for those people out there who don't know?
It's definitely this sort of just musky must that's just lingering in the air. I don't know how to put it into words, but you'll definitely tell. I mean, sometimes it's a bit difficult because, especially in a kitchen that's not being maintained clean, there's mixtures of food particle debris and oil, dried oil that's just sort of culminating in the air. But it's definitely this musky scent that's just lingering. Yeah.
Yeah, Jay, you look like you want to say something.
No, that Jerome, that was exactly like the word that I was thinking of,
Musk.
like must. And then now there's a difference between must with a T and not musk.
Musk.
Yeah. You would not want to use that kind of thing as like your cologne when you go on a date.
But Jerome, what is it about the roaches that leaves this scent? Are they like spraying stuff, or is it just their natural?
So a lot of times the roaches, they sort of leave, like they poo. They poo everywhere they go. So they leave these bits of roach poo is called frass. So they'll just leave them everywhere they go, whenever they settle, whenever they eat, whenever they're walking around, and you'll see them. It looks just like black streaks, black stains on the walls. Mm-hmm. And again, it could be confused as dried oil that's dripping from the kitchen stove, but just a mixture of those things. That's sort of what adds up to that foul odor.
I know
that's why they smell, and of course they're running around everywhere, in old food, in the sewers, toilets. So whatever places they travel, they pick up on their feet and they bring it along into the kitchen. So again, another reason why you may say, hey, we have roaches everywhere. But of course, in a food establishment, you don't want that, because if they're running around your plates, running around your food, and then that's how everyone gets sick, especially if it's a restaurant you like to go to.
I want to go into rats, but that's kind of self-explanatory, right?
Yeah.
Still waiting on our rat video, Jerome.
We'll see. I'll ask upper management about that.
Hey, Lonnie, let me ask you: when you're doing an inspection and you're looking down, like you said, in those dark places, and the roach runs out, do you ever just by instinct kill it, or do you guys like not
No,
allowed
our
to engage?
instinct, actually, Chris, our first instinct is to take a video or a picture because we want some evidence that
Right,
we
yeah.
found this. Yes.
See, now
Wow.
that's a professional right there.
Yeah, that is. I mean, you got to keep your cool, take that picture. Sometimes they fly at you too.
Yeah.
Well, anything in closing, Jerome? Are you guys doing? Is
Yes.
there? How often are you guys out there doing the inspections? Because it does seem like they're definitely ramped up.
Yeah, so again, we're sort of short-staffed. We have people either retiring or transferring to different places. So if you have a passion for environmental health and you sort of like the things we're doing, helping the community, whether it's through mosquito surveillance and control or food establishment inspections and protecting the community, then look to being an environmental health inspector. But for us, because we have such a small team, we are, not gonna lie, we are sort of backed up, especially since COVID's happening, and then of course we have the dengue thing happening. But we are trying our best to address the complaints and to keep up with our inspections. But again, if you have more complaints, you can always hit us up at our website. We do have a complaint form you can submit to us, or you can give us a ring, 300-9579. As far as our social media, you can always follow us there for more information. So that's our social media for our Facebook and Instagram would be Guam Environmental Health. I don't have the exact URLs right now, but if you Google it, you'll be able to find this. Lei, anything else?
Well, I just want to encourage people, that wanted to help the community, of course, by protecting public's health through helping us with the inspections and conducting mosquito surveillance. We have a lot of openings, so I enjoin you to apply and submit your applications. So thank you.
Right on. Thank you, Jerome. Thank you, Lonnie. We'll see you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Good talk there, Jay. The science behind the smell of cockroaches.
Yeah, very informative.
Yep.
And
Juicy.
good thing I was also like practicing intermittent fasting because I'm not feeling as if I'm missing a meal right now.
You were hungry before that interview, right?
Hungry for knowledge, but
Yeah. Hey guys, it's 9:36. Wow, we're getting kind of backed up.